ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय शुद्ध भक्ति चिंतामणि की जय। Uh, we are touching up to the subject matter of the indirect path to Krishna, and in the indirect path, we came to know that Kaitava dharma, dharma projita Kaitavo, atra परमो निर्मत्सराणाम सताम वेद्यम वास्तुमस्त्र शिवदम तापत्रयो उन्मूलनम। श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनि कृते किं वा परेरीश्वरः सद्यो अभिरुध्यते शुश्रुभिः तत्क्षणात् कृतिभिः श्रुतिभिः तत्क्षणात्। So in this particular literature of Srimad Bhagavatam, the cheating religions have been carefully kicked out to establish the highest principle in the devotional service, and that is of bhakti and pure bhakti, Shuddha bhakti. That is the highest principle. So by serving regularly to those who have been purified, that is Bhagavata, and those who have been Surit Satam, whose hearts are completely devoid of any dubious desires other than just to please Lord Shri Krishna. So that is the highest truth which has been extolled. And by serving such purified sadhus, we also become completely fixed in pure devotional service. So devotional credibility is passing through the agencies of realized devotees. So therefore, association of such devotees is very very essential in order to make tangible progress in pure devotional service. So, those who are seekers of truth, vadanti tattva vidastatvam yad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwan iti shabdate. The truth is Krishna, but indirectly instructs the other three classes of pious men to cultivate knowledge. Except the artharthi, artha, artharthi, jigyasu, and jnani. Three have been talked about. So, Srila Prabhupada is telling that without being elevated to the position of a jnani or a wise man, a devotee cannot stick to the principles of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This was explained in Nectar of Devotion. So, knowledge is essential, but knowledge of devotional service is essential, which is most confidential. Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyave jnana vijnana sahitam yagyatva mokshasya. Jnana means theoretical knowledge, and it is must. So, Arjun was well qualified because he was not envious of Lord Shri Krishna, and therefore Krishna is willingly, revealing him the most confidential knowledge. Arjun was already established in the pure devotional service unknowingly, but gradually it is fructifying, and he realizes. So gradual realization of Arjuna is there. And that jnani or the wise man, a devotee cannot stick to the principle of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we cannot, without that proper jnana or mindset, realized knowledge, one cannot worship the even Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, if the devotees do not become selfless through the wisdom, material desires will inevitably distract them from serving the Lord. So, we have to become free from any or every abhilasha, anya abhilashita, shunyam. Anya abhilasha. 7 except only worshipping abhilasha should be there, and anya abhilashana, and other than that, shunyam should become 0. And jnana karmadhanavratam, jnana and karma. Jnana is required, but it is acquired, not required, it is acquired. And by devotional service, jnana vijnana sahitam, that is important. So knowledge will come. It's a concomitant factor in performance of pure devotional service. So, in the most commentators' opinion, the distressed, inquisitive, and seekers of wealth all become wise by cultivating spiritual knowledge. That is in Bhagavad Gita, commentary by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also agrees, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur also agrees on this. So, Baldev Vidyabhushan, however, says that those looking to gain wealth or to mitigate distress must first become inquisitive. There are two people, those who are in distress and those who are seeking wealth, must become inquisitive, jigyasu. Without jigyasu, nobody can reveal. Somebody is going to come on his own accord and reveal you while you are waiting. That's not going to happen. You have to become inquisitive. you have to come forward so other can also come forward to reveal you. So, knowledge then leads them to wisdom, and wisdom to pure bhakti. Either stance, however, recognizes that in order to cast off the shackles of shadowy devotion, realized knowledge is essential. See, unless and until we become realized, we will continue the shadowy devotion. One cannot establish him in the pure devotional process unless he becomes self-realized. That is Jivan Muktasya Uchyate. Yaharyasya Hareردasya Manasa Karmana Gira Nikhilapi Avasthasu Jivan Muktasya Uchyate. That becomes the resolve. Just by becoming servant of Lord Shri Krishna alone. Hareerdas. Manasa karmana gira, by mind, words, and activities. Nikhilapi avastha. So, if we perform devotional service in continuity throughout our life, that is the position Jivan Muktasya Uchyate. You do not think any other abhilasha. Only cultivate one abhilasha to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that situation is only found in mukti. So our activities of pure devotional service will be continued. The subject matter of the semblance of devotional service is confidential because few persons are pleased to hear it. Those whose goal of life is pure devotion will consider this study helpful, but others may find it disturbing. The disturbed may even reject that others may they had read because they mistakenly think that their impure practices are already taking them to Krishna. Performance of devotional service and attachment through the mind, words, and activities created a sort of a subtle bodily conception, and that is becoming an obstacle. That is become an obstacle. Obstacle is he may think and he may not like the advice to go systematically. So they may be disturbed. They may even reject what they have read because they mistakenly think that their impure practices are already taking them to Krishna. They are thinking that under the hallucination that they are doing pure devotional service. But there is a check, and if they do not care and just want to bypass an easy way out by thinking, that is not fair, they may not like it, but they may start criticizing because there is an envy created by their displeasure. Jiva Goswami's commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam proclaims as kind of cheating, Kaitava, the motivation that impels the four kinds of pious person to turn to Krishna. Sri Jiva further elaborates on what constitutes cheating religion. His definition is that if a person has even one ulterior motive in devotional service to benefit himself or some one else other than Krishna and the Vaishnavas, excluding Krishna and Vaishnavas, if their ulterior motivation is to give to get the benefit through the other agencies, not Krishna or Vaishnava, then it is called cheating. Tanmatra pekshatatvam chid ekataratvam sviyanan yadiya phalapekshitvam chetasa kaitatvam. Based on the definition, the semblance of devotional service falls into the category of cheating, sakaitava, where as the pure devotional service defined in the chapter 1 is guileless, akaitava. Therefore, devotional practice is performed with pride or envy, with a motive to enjoy matter, or with a desire to free oneself from the conditioned life, are all cheating processes, albeit in the decreasing degree of severity. In a decreasing degree of severity. But the foremost cheating propensity is the desire to become one with the Supreme. Sridhar Swami makes this clear in his explanation of the prefix pra and the word projita at the beginning to his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, and second verse. The cheating mentality is born of contact with the modes of material nature. Ignorance, passion, and goodness exert their influence on the devotees in different ways and result in various types of devotional services. Kapil Dev describes this phenomena to his mother Devahuti. Devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and angry, and who is a separatist, is considered to be in the mode of darkness. The worship of the temple deities by the separatist with the motive for material enjoyment, fame, or opulence is devotion in the mode of passion. When a devotee worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offers the results of his activities in order to free himself from the inebrities of fruitive activities, his devotion is in the mode of goodness. This is in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 29th chapter, 8th, 9th, and 10th verses. Nonetheless, although the cheating of the devotees with a semblance of devotional seems to contradict the initial declaration of Bhagavatam, later in the Canto 2, Sukadeva Goswami supports it. Why? Because a semblance of devotion brings impure practitioners to contact with the highest good and points them in the right direction. Thus, Sukadeva gives words of encouragement to all varieties of the devotees. Akamava sarvakamayehi mokshakamo dharati tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. It is not that Sridhar Swami is taking the liberty or going away from the Siddhanta. No, it is the Vaishnava compassion that if sarvakama, but he is supposed to do Tivra Bhakti. Now, Tivra Bhakti cannot be rendered in one of the intermediary steps. Only he has to come up to the point of, resolute determination that only to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and through his consciousness to satisfy his consciousness. Krishna's consciousness is our cultivation. We have in 8.4 million species of life cultivated our life through our consciousness. but only in the human form of life. We are supposed to give up that our individual consciousness rather than take the help of Krishna's consciousness as revealed in Bhagavad Gita and by the association of the realized souls. Then it is possible to cultivate the resolute Krishna's consciousness in our life. So this is a very important point. It is devotion only that bestows the results of a discipline. Whether those results are enjoyment, mystic power, or liberation, without at least a trace of devotion, karma, jnana, and yoga are fruitless. Why? Because it is Krishna and Krishna alone who fulfills the desire of all living entities. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said in chapter number 4, text number 11. All right. So, and since Krishna responds only to the devotional service, a spiritual discipline must contain at least a trace of devotion before it can induce Krishna to award the fruit of practitioner's labor. Therefore, Agyat Sukruti is a very positive, requirement. Vaishnava Acharyas quote many verses to substantiate this truth. There are two additional verses in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 72nd chapter, 4th verse, and 11th canto, 20th chapter, 32 and 33 verses are there. So, and since Krishna responds only to devotional service, a spiritual discipline must contain at least a trace of devotion before it can introduce Krishna to award the fruit of practitioner's labor. Vaishnava Acharyas quote many verses to substantiate this truth. For instance, the Hari Bhakti Sudodhaya states that for persons devoid of devotional service to Krishna, birth in great family or nation, acknowledge of revealed scriptures, performance of austerities and penances, and chanting the Vedic mantras are like ornaments on a dead body. They are the ornaments on the dead body. What is that? The first part of the verse goes like the Krishna Bhakti Hinasya. What was the verse we recited yesterday? Krishna Bhakti Hinasya Gyan Karma Tapakriya.
Gita Sastram Japastapa. Apranas स्येव
apranasya dehasya mandanam lokaranjanam. That is there. What is the first verse?
भगवद्भक्तिहीनस्य
Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya. Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya.
जित शास्त्रम जपस्तपः
Gita.
जाति शास्त्रम महाराज
जाति शास्त्र सॉरी
Jati. Jati Shastra Tapak Kriya.
जपस्तपः
Japastapaha. Apranasya dehasya. So it is like that that persons devoid of devotional service to Krishna, birth in great family or nation, knowledge of revealed scriptures and performance of austerities and penances, and chanting the Vedic mantras are like ornaments on the dead body. Apranasya dehasya. So where is the prana? Can you point to what is the prana in a dead body? What is lacking?
the soul.
Prana is compared to devotional service. Okay? Everything else that you do religiously, or being born in a Brahman family and you are privileged and this and that, but they are a decoration on the dead body. Okay? I remember whenever somebody says and introduce me that he was born in a Brahman family, that was a dead body, a dead decoration. Srimad Bhagavatam also says, Swarga avarga pumsam rasayam bhuvi sampadam sarvasham api siddhainam moolam tach charanar archanam. Devotion service to his lotus feet is the root cause of all perfections a person can find in heaven, in liberation, and in subterranean regions on the earth. Srimad Bhagavatam is telling in 10th canto, 81th chapter, 19th verse, that devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord is the root cause of perfect, and person can find it in heaven and liberation in subterranean regions and also on earth, and even in the jail. We do Bhagavad Gita distribution in order to invoke devotion into them, the culprits. So like that, it is there, but people do not know. The Vedas do this accommodated the various degrees to which the conditioned souls are able to understand and adapt spiritual principles. Questions remain, though, whether this recommendation of the ancient Vedic applies to 21st century, especially Lord Chaitanya's followers. How does it follow? Lord Chaitanya's followers has to consider this ancient Vedic advice. How does it apply to the followers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? The teachings of Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada show that in general it does not. While traveling in South India, Lord Chaitanya met great scholar Ramananda Rai. As two sat together on the banks of Godavari, the Lord asked Ramananda to recite a verse from scripture concerning the ultimate goal of life. Ramananda cited a verse that is stated in that worship of Lord Vishnu through one's prescribed duty in the Varnashram system is the means of perfection. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, that is external. You had better tell me some other means. Echo bahya, aage kaha ar. Knowing Lord Chaitanya to be Vaishnava sannyasi, Ramananda Rai continued to present more elevated yet still impure types of devotional service, that is Bhakti Abhas. Lord Chaitanya continued to reject each responses until Ramananda Rai finally described the loving devotion as life's ultimate goal and pure devotional service as the means to achieve it. What is the goal? Loving devotion. And how to achieve it? Pure devotional service is the only way that it will bring out the love for devotional service. Bhaktivinoda Thakur recommends that Lord Chaitanya actually accepted Ramananda's initial descriptions of the process of devotional service, but because these ideas were not part of his transcendental Sankirtan movement, which is based on pure devotion, the Lord insisted on hearing more. This is in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 8th chapter, 68th verse purport. Prabhupada knew what is in the mind of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was not satisfying. So Ramananda Rai comes to the conclusion of the highest goal of life by rendering loving devotional service. But love cannot be arising unless and until one follows the path that he imported from the spiritual world. That is Golokera Prema Dhana Harinama Sankirtan. Sankirtan is the only benedicting us to enter into the pure loving devotional service. Indirect path of devotional service, the yoga ladder, as Srila Prabhupada calls it, it is material. This has been described in Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 6, 4th verse purport. The indirect path of devotional service is the yoga ladder, as Srila Prabhupada calls it, is material. It is the process of gradual elevation for persons available or unable to take to the Sankirtan movement and be directly prompted to a spiritual platform. This is also spoken in Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, 3rd verse purport. Okay, so here we are into the service of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yagyaihi Sankirtanam Prahe Yajanti Sumedasa. Unless and until one is engaged in Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one cannot get the goal of loving devotional service into Brajendra Nandana, the Lord of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. They will not get the love of Godhead. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us 5 aims that Aradhya Stanaya Brajendra Nandana Tadhamam Vrindavanam Ramya Kashidupasana Brajavadurvargirya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Amala Puranam and Prema Pumartho Mahan. Prema Pumartho Mahan. This is the Pancham Purushant. And the love can only be available when we enter into the Sankirtan movement. Congregational chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, this is the main point. Unless and until we enter into the Sankirtan movement, congregational chanting, because this is the Yuga Dharma, but it can give the highest result of prema bhakti, loving devotion. So this is not chanting Hare Krishna on a bhavuk level. Chanting, however, is cultivated in a very stage-wise, progressive method. Then and then, liberation can be also guaranteed. And after liberation, we have to, cultivate the desired taste. And we have to become completely attached to it. This is the real attachment. And you can do it through Sankirtan movement. So, Rati and Asakti are the real activity that leads to the bhava. Bhava bhakti, but unless and until there is natural attraction and love generated through this understanding of our practices, we cannot enter into the spontaneous devotional service of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That requires the stage of power. So, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada show that in general it does not. So, in this age, these Vedic principles do not apply in 21st century, especially for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's followers. And that we are trying to see through the responses of Ramananda Rai to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's questions, which are seeking higher and higher understanding. everything is external except entering into the internal bhajan, which is starting after liberation and going to rati, asakti, then power will be there. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur comments that Lord Chaitanya actually accepted Ramananda's initial descriptions of the progress or the process of devotional service, but because these ideas were not part of his transcendental Sankirtan movement, which is based on pure devotion, and the Lord insisted on hearing more. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not satisfied. And in other words, Ramananda Rai was describing the indirect path of, to the pure devotions. Ramananda Rai was describing stage-wise, but it is indirect. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to hear of the direct path, the path that he had imported from the spiritual world. That is in the Prarthana of Narottam Das Thakur. Golokera prema dhana harinama sankirtana. And if we do not have Ratina Janmilo Kenetai Hari Hari Vipale Janama Gonainu. Unless and until we participate in congregational chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, we will not be able to develop the love of Godhead. You know, people do choose sedentary or what you call reclusive devotional service. Devotional service is so private, they will say, that I do not need to expose my devotion to Krishna to somebody else. So, but in Kali Yuga, it doesn't work. In Kali Yuga, it doesn't work. That is called one who thinks that devotional service is an exclusive, results of one's own piety. No. This understanding is incomplete. And therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated the Sankirtan movement in order to get a very concentrated effect. It is not for imitation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic dancing and shedding tears. No. But it's a very important thing that you can't make a show of your devotion. And therefore, some people want to hide and do not want to take part in Sankirtan movement. But they are missing the point. You have courage to go out and chant. Only that desire is the seed that may lead to pure devotion. But even though while performing so-called devotion and you want to become reclusive, hide yourself for everything else, for your devotional service even, then you won't get the benefit. Okay. It is said that we should hide. A sincere devotee is supposed to hide his Ishtadev, hide his japa mala, hide his mantra and hide his guru. Does it mean that he will be completely dumbfounded? No. In preaching movement, one has to speak out with very high reverential way to introduce these four things. Unless and until the reverential mood is not there in our practice of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra with beads and whom we are chanting, the meaning, and who has given us the opportunity to chant and become purified. So they are very important treasures for us. They can be hidden in the heart rather than we have to make a show of it. That is what is meant. One has to hide. One has to make sure that about these four things, one has to speak very reverential, very, very confidential, and respectful attitude should be there. So a Vaishnava practice is there. But, I don't want to expose my mantra or my chanting or my devotion. So when you come out, you will be also taking liberty to artificially hide all these four things. You won't carry bead bag. You will be in karmi dress. You will be, chanting in mind. No. Why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't want to keep anything within your hand even and throw the hands in the air? I'm here exclusively yours, my dear Lord. I have nothing, so we cannot carry anything. To hide means to hide in the heart rather than hide everything somewhere in the fear of. So put it in the locker, even the bead bag. Put your guru also in your locker. So this is the thing people do, So Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, refers to that. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself describes the indirect process in the Gita, and as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he repeated it while instructing Sanatana Goswami. What is this instruction? In Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 22nd chapter, 26 to 60 verses of instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sanatana Goswami. However, even though such an alternative is authorized by Shastra, neither Srila Prabhupada nor Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends this process. Readers should carefully note and remember this point. Bhaktivinoda Thakur points out in details the drawbacks of the indirect path to the pure devotional service. He says, in Kali Yuga, the indirect devotional path of speculation and work are extremely narrow and hazardous. Originally, and they were intended to lead one to the shrine of devotional service through the company of saintly persons or through the process of offering to the Lord the results of work performed without desire. In Kali Yuga, however, both paths are contaminated. One rarely sees saintly persons because the pseudo-spiritualists have replaced them, and religious duties generally are no longer performed for purifying. Therefore, these secondary paths are no longer useful. Even the process of deity worship, which gives the highest spiritual process in Dwapar Yuga, has become impure and degraded. Wow. Kali Kaler Namarupi Krishna Avatar. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's telling. Otherwise, in Dwapar Yuga, deity worship was the primary mode of worship. In Kali Yuga, only the holy name, and that through Sankirtan movement. So those who have a good discriminating intelligence in this nitty-gritty details of various types of our Abhasi Bhakti, because we have to enter securely in the pure devotional service, spontaneous devotional service. We cannot leave any corner untouched. We cannot cut corners. We cannot simplify. Oh, this will be also okay. No. As far as Prem is concerned, it is a very narrow path because it will contain only two, you and him. So we will look into this again. We are at least progressing, but slowly. I don't want to rush up because there are so many thought-provoking ideas and references are coming. So, anyone has any question?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam, Tanivas Das Guru Maharaj.
Jai.
Guru Maharaj, it was a very nice point you established about four which we have to hide, Ishtadev, Japmala and Guru and Japa. Guru Maharaj, so it shows you, so this is very important. We have to be very, in giving to others and telling to others, we have to be very strong, but we have to hide it in our heart, means we are fully attached to it. That is only the source of our bhakti. Is that the meaning of that, Guru Maharaj?
Yes.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. That was very, very nicely explained, Guru Maharaj.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna Gurudev. Please
Jai.
accept my humble obeisances. Gurudev, we talked about the Sankirtana and also the Japa. So, what is the difference, Gurudev? And besides our 16 rounds, a sadhaka should be doing more Japa or more Sankirtan?
Minimum should be done.
Yeah.
Minimum should be done. But Prabhupada said, what will you do for the rest of 8 hours, the whole day? Your active life. Perform acts of devotion and without any motivation. Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karma dhanavratam. At that time, you do not think scrutinizingly and do not become conditioned by, say, limited parameters to contain the whole Sankirtan movement in a little nutshell. No. Alone we cannot do, but together we can do. In Kali Yuga, in other yugas, all the 3 processes, Yajna, Dana, and Tapakriya, is individually performed to give them credibility. And after that, purificatory processes of, Yajna, Dana, and Tapakriya, when person is purified, then he is given the holy name. Till then, holy name was not available. But in Kali Yuga, only holy name is going to be available, and the Yajna, Dana, Tapakriya should not hamper, because they are supposed to be done through the agency of our body inflicted by the 3 modes of material nature. So, we have to be careful. If we do in such a way that all our activities are connected with Lord Shri Krishna's pleasure, favorable. Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam, Pratikulasya Varjanam, give up the pratikul. Why? Because it will put us into impurities on the path of devotion. So we have to be very careful. We can engage into pure activities of devotional service by properly situated in the mode of transcendence, ultimately understanding that the realm of Lord Shri Krishna cannot be contaminated by our imperfect senses and consciousness. Okay?
Yes, Gurudev. Thank you, Gurudev. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Haribo.
No one's popping up just now.
Huh?
No one's popping up.
Okay. But somebody was
Vidyalala says.
Vidyalansa, Haribol.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
Jai glory to
Um,
Prabhupada.
Jai. Gurudev, when you said we should hide our Guru Mala, everything within our heart, do you mean to say we need to, whatever our mood is towards all these?
No,
Can you please elaborate a bit more?
you do not have to do not have to expose Guru anywhere and everywhere, but because he is the most important treasure in your heart. So if somebody says, "Who is your Guru Maharaj?" how would you respond?
Yeah.
You have to respond,
Yes.
right?
It's
You
just
can't-
that we do not have to make an exhibit of.
But a revelation through highest awe and reverence should be there. My spiritual master is His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada is my
Yes, Gurudev.
spiritual master. That's a blunt statement. Reverential presentation should be there. That is more precious. And we have to exhibit the preciousness. Okay?
Okay, Guru Maharaj, thank you.
Uh,
Very good.
all right. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you very much.